Kier Starmer, what's going on in the United Kingdom? In the immediate aftermath of the murder of 3 schoolgirls at a Taylor Swift party, and these girls were murdered by the child of a migrant, I think a Rwandan migrant, I believe, murdered these 3 schoolgirls. Now, you know what it's like. When children get murdered, people kind of go through a cultural and national crisis. For this obvious reason, if we can't protect our most vulnerable, what are we? Who are we? Well, that happened on Kier Starmer's watch. It happened very early in his tenure, and it inflamed passions across the nation. People were like, if outsiders and intruders are killing our children, what is our nation? We are weak. We are vulnerable. Where is our pride? Where is our nation? Now, that's not necessarily the correct reaction, but it's an understandable reaction. Lucy Connolly posted something rather incendiary. Here is the original post that Lucy Connolly posted. Now, as you can see, it is somewhat incendiary. However, where does free speech and the right to openly express your emotions if you are a mother? I believe she lost a child in difficult circumstances. It was a very tragic and difficult situation. She's been through a lot of trauma. What kind of culture and society do we want? One that includes forgiveness, debate, or do you want a culture where authority is granted, seemingly, if you ask me, to the worst kind of people? He's just reneged on Brexit and given the EU power that Brexit took away. He is keen to sign a WHO treaty, another way of granting extra national power to global bureaucratic bodies. People are getting jailed for social media posts. There are weird rumours about his private life. That's the basic frame of the story. Let's look at the information together and assess for ourselves whether Kier Starmer is a good, beautiful, decent man running Britain for the British, or someone who has relationships and ties that mean that in his role as Prime Minister, he ultimately ends up governing on behalf of powerful interests. That's exactly the same claim that you would make about Justin Trudeau or Mark Carney in Canada, whoever it is that runs Australia right now. It's exactly the same kind of claim you'd make about Macron. It's exactly the claim you make about social democratic, left-leaning, neoliberal politicians. Whilst their rhetoric is about compassion and care, ultimately they govern on behalf of powerful corporate and bureaucratic interests that transcend the nation. It wasn't ever thus, but it is the way that it is now. Someone like Trump, whilst I'm sure flawed, because he's a human being, is a obstacle to that manner of governance, and that's why if you are anti-establishment, you probably should consider populism and nationalism as a route to prevent ever-exceeding globalism. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Let's get into this stuff. Let's start with the Lucy Connolly story, which has been brought up in the White House. Free speech martyr loses appeal to be freed from jail for inciting racial hatred. Let's see what Kier Starmer said about Lucy Connolly.
Let me give you the principles that I would apply. Firstly, I'm strongly in favour of free speech. We've had free speech in this country for a very, very long time, and we protect it fiercely. I'm equally, though, against incitement to violence against other people. That has long been an offence in our country, and rightly so. And so I say, don't know the details of this case, but free speech, yes. Incitement to violence, no.
Does that sound rehearsed to you? Free speech, yes. Incitement to violence, no. Who decides where that line is? Here's the answer. People in authority decide where the line is. And what they want are laws that can be deployed against the people they choose to persecute and prosecute. That's what they want, a kind of vagueness and an opportunity to criminalise whoever it's convenient to criminalise. In this case, let's be compassionate. In this case, let's persecute. Look at who's getting jailed and it will tell you how they plan to govern. So that's the Lucy Connolly side of this argument. J.D. Vance, your vice president, has called out Starmer to his face over free speech.
I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies, but we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
We discussed all this.
Did you see the leg uncross and cross right there? Adam Carolla brilliantly said that you can tell who the neoliberal progressives are because they signal it to you with their leg crossing and with their colourful socks. Man, it cracked me up, that little bit of stand-up that he did about that. Well, actually, it wasn't stand-up. He was talking about it on his podcast. In that moment, when you see him uncross his legs and reach over there to JD, well, obviously, we're not going to get involved in American citizens. Yeah, well, America's like the most powerful nation in the world. America might have a beef with China coming down the pipe and's clearly got a problem with Russia when it comes to carving up global territories. But I don't think that JD Vance and Donald Trump are worried about Kier Starmer reaching across the Atlantic and infringing. If I do reach out, don't need to worry because I've had an AIDS test.
I did an HIV test.
Everything's squeaky clean. Well, I don't want to go into details. I don't want to be vulgar, but what you do is you put a cotton bud like a Q-tip down the old PL, give that a whiff. That's AIDS-free. You're all right. Chocks away. Enjoy yourself. Get involved. Here you go. What up? No, I'm done. Express yourselves. What I'm saying about our man Kier Starmer there is he's a child of God. He's a beautiful child of God. I pray for him. I pray for his family. I pray for peace. I pray for all of the people in positions of power. I pray for justice. I pray for openness and transparency. But in the UK right now, people are being jailed for issues that are definitely on the free speech side of that free speech incitement to violence line. If you believe in democracy, you don't walk back Brexit. If you believe in sovereignty, you do not give national power to the WHO. If you believe in free speech, you don't jail people for expressing their opinions in the middle of a very contentious time when people were fraught and broken by the murder of those 3 girls in Southport. It was not handled well by Kier Starmer, and it seems there might be more things to consider. Firstly, Brexit was voted for by the people of the UK. They wanted to leave the European Union. They don't want to be part of an economic or trade partnership, and they want their national sovereignty in their country back. Now, whether you think that was an error or a mistake or whatever you think about it, of course, if you really have free speech, you can think we bloody well want. But the people of Britain voted to leave the EU. So what's going on with walking that shit right back? Giving Ursula von der Leyen, check out her relationship with Albert Baller, by the way, do your own research. Keir Starmer is handing a European court the power to make the UK follow EU rules. A leaked text of Starmer's Brexit reset confirms 9 years after the UK voted to take back control, Labour is now given control of foreign judges. A leaked copy of the Brexit deal show. Let me know what you think about that in the comments and chat, particularly if you are a resident of the UK. Let me know what you think about how your country is being run when it comes to free speech, lack of inquiry into the rape gangs, and the potential misuse of law enforcement when it comes to the jailing of the likes of Lucy Connolly. Let me know what you think, because it seems like it's getting even worse with this WHO treaty. Now, Starmer's just signed a treaty giving the WHO the power to recommend lockdowns. Now, how did that go during the COVID pandemic? Are we going to have a review, an inventory on the WHO's behaviour and suggestions and guidance? Did the vaccines work out well? Let me know in the comments and chat. Did the lockdowns work well? Did the masks work well? Did the social distancing work well? How's your small business in the UK? If you had a small business in the UK in 2018, 2019 that was going quite well, how's it going now? You've probably heard that RFK is known for his sharp mind and relentless energy. Man, he can do pull-ups. Now you can experience those same benefits with Recharge from the Wellness Company. This doctor-formulated nutraceutical is the first to combine methylene blue with urolithin A, creating a unique formula designed to optimize mitochondrial function, improve energy, and elevate cognitive performance. Now we're introducing urolithin A. Together, methylene blue crosses the blood-brain barrier to enhance memory focus and executive function by increasing ATP production, the true fuel of our cells. It also works as a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, helping protect against aging and cellular damage. If you're looking for real mental and physical edge, Recharge delivers. Get 10% off plus free shipping. Head to twc.health/brand and use the code BRAND. Feel the difference. Think clearer, recharge, get ready for the fight. Join the people that were telling the truth when the truth was not fashionable. Now, talking about incendiary and burning things down, there's this peculiar story at the moment with Kier Starmer. What? Romanian model in court over Starmer firebomb attack. Stanislav Karapuch appeared at Westminster Magistrates on Tuesday after being arrested at Luton Airport by counter-terrorism officers. What is this story? What's going on? What's happening? Why are models burning down Kier Starmer's back door? What's happening? The complete lack of curiosity by the UK media as to why a trio of Eastern European male models, at least one of whom was an escort, just burnt several properties belonging to Kier Starmer is extraordinary. This is not normal. It is not normal. Well, one of the men I listed as being significant in an alliance between the right and left in the UK, George Galloway, had this to say.
No British Prime Minister has ever been firebombed by a Ukrainian male model. Never mind 3 firebombs from 3 Ukrainian male models. Now look, I spoke about this extensively the other night. I'm not going to rehearse it all, but it has to be explained because either Kier Starmer just had a run of really bad luck that 3 Ukrainian male models allegedly firebombed 2 of his houses and 1 of his former cars.
One of his former cars? Like, you got a ongoing relationship with his car.
Now, that was one of my old cars, but I still stay in touch with it. I don't like to let go of my cars. I like to have a little poke about the exhaust pipe from time to time, see about what's going up in that pipe. Now, these Ukrainian models, what's going on with like escorts blowing up his stuff? It's weird, isn't it? When you connect that to the Lucy Connolly imprisonment and the foreclosure of free speech, his extraordinary relationships with the CIA, his refusal to release Julian Assange, he was head of the CPS, then leader of the opposition, did nothing about Assange. Now he's signing up to a WHO treaty. He's reversing Brexit. What's going on? Who's in control of that man? And is it any way connected to these arsonists? Why are these arsonists setting Kier Starmer's exhaust pipe ablaze?
Some of those houses and the car in the same street that he used to live in. Now that can happen. It doesn't happen often, and it's never happened to a British Prime Minister before. But if it did just randomly occur, then he can count himself a very unlucky man indeed. On the other hand, if this is a conspiracy hatched in foreign lands against our Prime Minister, this is an attack on the United Kingdom. It's an act of terrorism of great moment, and we should be told if that is the case. If, on the other hand, all of this is the result of some personal imbroglio that the Prime Minister has gotten himself into with the alleged perpetrators, then we need to be told that also. Because if it's a terror attack, or if it is the result of a relationship or relationships gone bad, we need to know, because it goes to the heart of British governance. Now, Prime Minister's question time took place today at Westminster, and not a single MP had the guts to ask the obvious question. Prime Minister, have you ever met or have any personal relationship with any or all of the Ukrainian male models who stand accused, only accused, by the Metropolitan Police Anti-Terror Squad of having firebombed your properties? That is the question.
Whether it's the capitulation to the WHO, whether it's the backing out of the EU Brexit stuff, or whether it's jailing your own citizens for free speech, whether it's ignoring the plight of Julian Assange and participating in it, whether it's stabbing Jeremy Corbyn in the back, it seems to me that Kier Starmer has got some extraordinary questions to answer. What's going on with them Ukrainian models? Should Lucy Connolly be released? What happened around Southport and the murder of those beautiful, innocent children? Can the UK be saved? Yes, but only with new political alliances between potentially George Galloway, Farage, Andrew Bridgen, a new alliance, Jeremy Corbyn. Can these people work together? And of course, names that I don't even know. I'm not in touch with UK politics no more. But I believe there could be a revolution in the UK. And maybe these crazy arsonists could be just the firebomb up the exhaust pipe that we need. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.